Bushcraft Global has invited InnerBark Outdoors on their first expedition into the Amazon. Join me as I experience the culture and learn how the indigenous people thrive. One of the most interesting things that I learned about in the jungle was the construction of a blowgun. These blowguns are used for hunting all sorts of animals. And they're quite different from blowguns that we use here in North America, because the targets are mostly up in the trees. Little kids learn to use blowguns at a very young age, hunting insects and small animals to hone their skills. When they're old enough, they build their own blowgun. The first step is to find the perfect staff. This is made out of a specific palm and needs to be long enough and straight enough to get the job done. The first thing that we did to the staff was to cut off the ends so that they're nice and flush. We then proceeded to scrape off the outer bark.
Did a termite mound that smoke keep mosquitoes out? Yeah. Maybe I should throw those under the table.
Using a knife or a machete, the end is split and the whole thing is separated into two halves.
Garrett, you want to go try and noose that Alex that came in? Yeah. Well, here's a stick.
After that, the pithy center is removed. The bulk of it is taken out with the edge of the blade, while the rest is scraped out with another tool.
Yeah, you didn't just eat that, man. The mechanical sound just would not stop, man. It was... Yeah, there was something in there.
The next morning we set out to find a latex tree to make the glue that we'll use to construct the rest of the blowgun. The area around the tree is cleared out so that bugs and other matter doesn't get into the glue. Using a palm leaf, Alberto forms a nice little faucet.
Primo. No, primo.
Cuts are made into the bark at a very specific angle. This angle makes it so a lot of sap flows, and that the sap flows correctly in the channels. Latex has been harvested like this for thousands of years before settlers came, and the same tree can be used over and over for years. And since the latex sap is the tree's defense against pathogens, it'll seal itself up in no time. The next step of this glue making process is vulcanization. This changes the chemical properties of the sap and turns it into a sticky substance.
He's gonna make s'mores.
Yeah, it looks like marshmallows.
Rice Krispie treats. Oh, looks pretty strong. Really perfect, right? Where could I trim it?
Once it's the right color and has cooled down, it becomes a very sticky, gooey mess.
Yeah, like this.
Once the glue's made, it's time for me to go ahead and carve my mouthpiece. The mouthpiece is a very important part because this is often the only point of contact you have with the blowgun while aiming upwards. Roughing out the outer shape is pretty easy. And the ends are cut off with the saw. Using my knife as a file card, I start to get the more final shape. The next thing that needs to be made is the hole for the barrel to go into. This needs to be deep enough and just big enough for the barrel to go into so it's a nice snug fit.
I got bait. I catched already a fish.
The other end of the mouthpiece is more funnel shape.
With this horseflies.
Man, I'm gonna have to go jump in the freaking water. These freaking bastards all over me.
Pretty bad.
Shit, yeah, dude.
Oh, you're true.
Since no one had a drill bit on hand, we used one of the files that we use for sharpening machetes. This was used sort of as a rustic drill bit in order to get the hole to go all the way through. Once the halves have been scraped mostly clean of all the pith on the inside, the rest is smoothed out with some sand. This takes a lot of the work out later on when you polish the bore. The two halves of the barrel are tied together using string covered in the glue. This will keep everything secure while we're gluing and also wrapping the barrel.
Yeah, so they put it just between two logs. And the fire what they make, it's always like the tips. So you can push them. It's not a campfire, so they can do with just a little bit of wood if they have, they can do a lot of cooking, you know. If you put it like a tippy, it burns all away, right away. So what she's doing when it's too much fire, she just pulls them out, you know.
In America, you wait for the fire to burn down and you cook on the coals.
Oh yeah.
No, you do. I'm too impatient.
You don't know how to properly appreciate your food.
No, so she looked for a rubber tree and she took out the milk, put him all on his ass, waited until it was dry, then she pulled it off and all the... No, they don't have hairs on their ass.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yo tengo solamente uno, but next time I'll get you one.
The glue is heated up next to a low flame and is sparingly applied to the seams. The application of this glue is just to seal the two halves together so it's all one piece again.
When I know I don't have too much time to do this, I just don't start it anymore. Before I have 5 minutes and then just doing it really fast and then...
Put some color on it and I sand it or I shine the light. And all of this will be beautiful. There.
After the full length of the barrel is sealed, raw latex sap is put on the outside of the barrel. This acts as a sort of finish and sealant for the entire length of the barrel. Earlier in the build, we took a special vine and took the outer bark off. The vine that we use is very specific and is typically only used for the construction of these blowguns.
It's still there. In Georgia, where I work, we had lots of stuff next in the Mexican. I find it very easy. No problem too. If it's very easy, the kids would think it's new to them, so. No, it's cool. It tastes good. With milk, man.
After that stuff had some time to dry, it was time to use it on the blowgun. The heated up glue was applied liberally on the end of the blowgun, and this is where we started to make the wrap. Since the glue that we used to seal the entire length of the barrel is still sticky, this aided in the adhesion of the wrap. You might have noticed that the blowgun that we were shooting before was a lot thicker and appeared to have a lot more wraps. I learned that typically the owner will either take off an old wrap and replace it, or simply wrap over an existing wrap, making it thicker and more durable. Once the blowgun is all wrapped up, the end is heated, more glue is applied to it, and the wrapping is securely set in place. Both of the surfaces that we are gluing together are coated very liberally with the heated up glue. This will make sure there's no dead air space in between.
You're the glass, Alberto. Sit on medication for my amigo. You guys, please pay attention to your company as you're walking out there, so you have an idea of where you're at as you guys get out. Also, what the hell is biting right here? That's why we pull it up.
While the glue is still hot, Rodolfo makes sure that everything is in line.
So if you guys wondering, fruit punch Pedialyte mixed with Pedi.
If everything's good, another application of hot glue was put in place to make it all solid.
What's the biggest problem gonna be on the center and the side? I want this logo and 6 millimeters in there.
The darts are made out of spines from the mil peso tree. The mil peso tree gets its name because it has 1,000 uses. The darts are made out of spines from the mil peso tree. The mil peso tree gets its name because it has 1,000 uses, and making sweet darts is just one of them. The poison used on the tips are either gathered from a frog or a special vine with alkaloid poisons in it. InnerBark Outdoors coverage of the Bushcraft Global Expedition is brought to you by Tops Knives, the operator's edge. And Prepare One. Prepare today, ready tomorrow.